I would like to lead meditation on mindfulness of breathing, anapana sati, ana prana. Sati, prana is the breath, sati is mindfulness. So we concentrate our mind on the breath, cultivate awareness and mindfulness of breath and the breathing and breath is bridge between the body and the mind. Whatever happens in our mind, it has effects on our bodies, and whatever happens in our bodies, it has effects on our mind. So meditate on the breath. It sounds very simple one. Sounds sort of mundane and not so magical, not so powerful, not so spiritual, and this and that. But we're not looking for magical things. We're not looking for powerful or something instant result. And Dharma way is gentle way. Dharma way is slow. Dharma way is step by step and gradual way. And Dharma way is to practice patience and perseverance. Without patience and perseverance, and one cannot, one is unable to practice Dharma effectively, properly. So Dharma way is patience. So we practice patience, perseverance, and breathing meditation is very beneficial for our body, mind, and relaxation and purification and reduction of stress in these strange times of pandemic. And so it is the right thing to do and important thing to do. So let's sit now comfortably. Sit on your cushion or bench or chair, wherever you prefer to sit. And then you concentrate your mind on the breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out long, and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out smooth. And always concentrate the mind, pay attention on the breath, and continuously. Whenever you experience your mind is wandering, and then you make a note, which is called mental note in Theravadan Buddhist tradition, Vipassana tradition. To know your mind is going somewhere or gone somewhere, to make a note. And then immediately return to the breath. After making the note, return to the breath. Also, when your mind is experiencing dullness and sleepy mind, sinking mind, you make a note. Again, make a note and immediately return to the breath. Focus the mind on the breath. And while you're meditating on the breath, and to feel your abdomen is rising and your abdomen is falling. As you breathe in, your abdomen is rising. As you breathe out, as you breathe in, your abdomen is rising. As you breathe out, your abdomen is falling. So feel this sensation of rising and falling, rising and falling. and meditate on the breath and experience peace and serenity and calmness at this very moment. subject of the teaching for today is Satipatthana Sutra, commentary on Satipatthana Sutra, particularly the mindfulness of object of mind. I taught mindfulness of body, mindfulness of feelings, mindfulness of mind, then the mindfulness of object of mind, and the Four Noble Truths, Noble Truth of dukkha, suffering, and Noble Truth of cause or origin of suffering, Noble Truth of cessation of suffering, and Noble Truth of path to cessation of suffering. So last time, before Christmas, some time ago, I talked about the Noble Truth of suffering. I won't go back there. I won't talk about Noble Truth of suffering. We got enough suffering, especially in this time of pandemic. So now the Noble Truth of the origin of suffering. This is very important. So in Tibetan language, the word Dembashi, Four Noble Truth, Dembashi, Pakpe Dembashi, Dunga Demba, Kunjung Demba, Gwakwe Demba, Lamden, Lamji Demba. The first Noble Truth is Noble Truth of suffering, which is in Tibetan, Dunga Demba. And then Noble Truth of cause of suffering or origin of suffering is Kunjung Demba. Kunjung means source of all. So source of all suffering, all miseries. So here I will now read the commentary, the translation of the Satipatthana Sutta. And what the monks is the noble truth of the origin of suffering. What is the noble truth of origin of suffering? It is that craving which gives rise to rebirth, bound up with pleasure and lust, finding fresh delight, now here, now there. That is to say, sensual craving, craving for existence, and craving for non-existence. So the Buddha is saying the origin of the suffering, the cause of suffering is craving. The mind is craving. Mind is grasping, wanting this, wanting that, wanting all kinds of things, which gives rise to birth. So because of the craving makes us to born, reborn, takes rebirth. We are here in this world as a human being. Why are we here? Because our mind, craving mind, wanted to be alive, wanted to reborn, born as a living being, creature, sentient being, and particular human being, and whatever. And a lot of times we don't even know the cause, exactly cause, which is the karma. There are different kinds of karmas, cause to be born as a human beings or animals, whatever. And the karma is the one makes you to be born. And there's a particular karma called throwing karma. It's like you're throwing rock, throwing karma. The force of this karma, you are throwing around from one life to another life, from one realm to another realm. You go up to a higher realm or lower realm, higher realms like God realm, demigod realm, medium realms like a human realm, animal realm, and the lower realms like hungry ghost realm and hell realms going around, throwing around by the force of karma. And we don't have a lot of choice. And then the main cause is the delusion and the mental defilement and craving. So the rebirth here, rebirth bound up with pleasure and lust. So bound up with this mind of wanting pleasure, and then there's a last. Finding fresh delight now here and now there. So finding for some kind of delight, some kind of joy and happiness, and some satisfaction, some kind of um, mm, some kind of fulfillment, and so you are keep constantly moving. We're going around and around and around, and what we call the wheel of life, and samsara, korwa, Tibetan word is korwa, so go around, and um, that is to say, sensual craving for existence. So we are craving for existence. For example, craving for food, craving for place to live, craving for friends, craving for love, craving for companionship, craving for hug, craving whatever. At this, for example, at this very moment, a lot of us craving for companionship and love and hug and family, right? This is a time between Christmas and New Year, and we have been suffering from pandemic for last 11 months, 12 months, and a lot of people are isolated from their loved ones. So there's a real craving of wanting to be with your family and exchange love and joy and just be together and play together or go for a walk and eat meals and as a children play and so on and so forth. So there's a real craving and there's a suffering. This is a true suffering. This is happening right this very moment. And craving for existence. And also the Buddha said, craving for non-existence. So we are also a lot of time we craving for things that don't exist. And for example, like a fantasy, right? Or like a illusion, dreaming, and trying to be something, trying to get something that you won't get, that you are not going to get. And for example, craving for youth, and you're not going to become younger and younger. Only we get is older and older. And so we're craving for youth, craving for beauty, craving for something. And things don't really exist anymore. And I'm not saying as we get older, there's no beauty and no good health. And well, look at many seniors, and they're brilliant, and they look very healthy, and they're beautiful people. But there are something that we already lost, and it's not going to come back to us. Something or don't exist inherently from the shunyata point of view. Things don't exist inherently by itself and independently. And craving for non-existence. And where does this craving arise and establish itself? Wherever in the world there's nothing greetable and pleasurable, here there is craving arise and establish arise. So then the Buddha suggests when you go through the Four Noble Truths, not just reading the book and reading some like a story, like a novel, but you should read and then do analytical meditation and then meditate on it. Meditate, keep meditating. So don't just read quickly and then forget. That's why people don't remember. You read like a newspaper and novels, you read once and then forget it. You don't care. Then you don't remember. Well, you don't have to remember, right? And but Dharma books are not like that. And of course, nobody remembers everything. And you can read again and again. Every time when you read, you learn more, you enjoy more, and then it stays in your mind stream, the habit. Then you remember later when you reach when you meet certain object and something reminds you, something triggering in your brain. So do analytical meditation and do single pointedness meditation. So ask question: where are these craving, desire, attachment, and delusions arising? Where do they come from? So this is a big question, right? And important question. And the answer is it um, it continued from the previous mind stream. Right now, we have craving craving for a cup of coffee, craving for chocolate, craving for a nice lunch, whatever. we do craving, and we have did a craving from the past, and that goes back childhood, and it goes back all the way to previous past lives, and then there was no beginning. And as Dharma says, no beginning, right? Life has no beginning, and mind has no beginning. Delusions have no beginning. We cannot point the finger saying this is where a beginning, where it come from, and so it just keep coming, right? And anyway, this is a big question. You can debate forever, and and if there is no beginning, then how do you know there's an end? And this and that, right? And some philosophers, some people believe that if there is end, then it has to have a beginning, or if there's no beginning, then there'll be no end, right? So you can debate, and that would be interesting to debate, right? And anyway, so here the Buddha said, what is there in the world that is agreeable and pleasurable? The I in the world is agreeable and pleasurable. To air, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, the world is agreeable and pleasurable. And there is craving arise, establish itself. So what has happened is in your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind is looking for pleasurable things, and something that agreeable, and so not logically, it's just sort of more irrationally and naturally, and maybe the agreeable is not necessarily perfect translation. Maybe it's appealing in your mind, and so this kind of mind exists within everybody, not only human beings, but even animals. You have the same mind of looking for pleasurable things and appealing things. And you look at a cat, look at your dog, and the dog like pleasurable things. Nice soft bed, a nice dog food, nice bowl of some kind of broth or milk or soup, and pleasure for the tongue, and pleasure for the nose. The dogs have amazing nose sense, and and cats and so forth. All the animals, even insects. Well, for example, mosquito is biting you, And the mosquito is looking for pleasurable blood of human beings or animals, and pleasant one. And then she will feed her babies, and so forth. So this is part of the craving mind of the mosquito. This is a craving mind of the dog or cat or human being. We all have the same mind. This is craving. So we craving, create karma, more karmas, and craving karma. So here, the sutras usually goes on and on, repeating a lot of words here. Eye consciousness, air consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness in the world is agreeable and pleasurable. And these craving arising establish itself. So by our eye sense, by our consciousness, right? So what the Buddha is saying here is that our eye consciousness is creating karma, air consciousness. So sometimes people ask, oh, how do we create karma? What kind of mind is creating karma, right? So all our different levels of consciousness creating karma. And we have 6 primary mind: eye consciousness, air consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness. These are the 6 primary minds. And the craving and eye consciousness is craving, looking for beautiful colors and shape. And air consciousness is listening beautiful music and rejecting ugly music and horrible music. And the nose consciousness is looking for smelling beautiful incense and aroma. Tongue consciousness looking for beautiful food, delicious food. Body consciousness is looking for a nice soft bed, a nice meditation cushion, a nice shawl or robe, and right temperature in your room, and fresh air, and this and that, or right kind of light setting, and agreeable one for your body consciousness, and pleasurable for your body consciousness, and mind consciousness. And then when you meditate, your mind is craving. I want realization. I want enlightenment. I want instant enlightenment. All this craving, right? And so the craving becomes a problem. Or even while you're meditating, you can't sit and just enjoy the meditation, relax. While you're meditating, you're craving. I want the result now. And I want to get enlightened. I want to get closer to the Buddha. And the craving. So if you have this kind of so much craving, it will becomes a problem, and it's like anxious mind. Right? One sense, you are good because you have so much energy and this sort of strong drive, towards enlightenment. You have a strong mind. You wish to become enlightened. Maybe your motivation is good, especially if you wish to become enlightened for the benefit of all sentient beings, which is good. But then if you have an unbalanced mind, a strong mind, I want to get enlightened as soon as possible, like keep sort of like a bodybuilding, like a weightlifter and building muscles. And I want to get enlightened soon and closer, this sort of anxious mind. And a bit unbalanced mind, too much grasping for enlightenment. If you are grasping, all grasping is the same. And so you need to calm down, not even think about, I want to get enlightened and become a Buddha. Just practice and gradual path to enlightenment. And so this is then it becomes too much craving, even enlightenment is become a problem. And or applying too much remedy. And one of the obstacles of samatha meditation is called Nyimbo Du Jeba, Tibetan word. Nyimbo Du Mijeba, Nyimbo Du Jeba. Lelo Naming So these are the obstacles of meditation, right? Lelo is laziness, Naming is wandering mind, and Nyembo Dujeba is applying remedy when it is not necessary. And Nyembo Du Mujeba means not applying remedy when it is necessary. And then Dhamma Jeba, and the fifth one is forgetting the instructions. So laziness, okay, wandering mind, dullness mind, and applying remedies when it's unnecessary, not applying remedies when it's necessary, and forgetting the instructions. All of these are obstacles for meditation. So eye contact, head contact, nose contact, and so on, so forth. Peeling bone of eye contact, head contact. Okay. So I won't go through this. There's so many repetitions here. So this is the cause. You see, the cause of noble truth of suffering. So that basically the mind, like mental defilement, right? So I'd like to go on. I'd like to talk more about here, expand from here about the mind and craving, okay, and attachment, and is the cause of noble truth of suffering. So now I would like to talk about the opponent power, or antidotes, or in other words, you maybe you could say solutions, right? So so usually three things, three causes of suffering. The very first, foremost cause of suffering is ignorance, right? Ignorance. And Tibetan word is dochak. Tibetan word is dimuk. Dimuk is the ignorance, right? So we are ignorant of karma. We're ignorant of shunyata, ignorant of lack of understanding of self-grasping. Okay, so the very first one is ignorant, right? So some people ask, so I got ignorance. I'm ignorant of many things and don't know Dharma, don't know enlightenment. I don't know so many things, and I don't have bright mind, and I don't have intellectual mind. I don't have rational thinking, and and what shall we do? What shall I do to purify my ignorance, to get rid of ignorance? So, so the antidote and opponent power for ignorance is cultivate wisdom. Wisdom, different kinds of wisdom. And there are many different kinds of wisdoms. Wisdom of thinking, wisdom of studying, wisdom of investigating, wisdom of reading, wisdom of meditation, and different kinds of wisdoms. And so, for antidote for ignorance is to study the Dharma, study Dharma, listen teachings, It doesn't matter. It's audio or video or face-to-face teaching from the masters, lamas, live ones, face-to-face, or on Zoom or on YouTube. Now we have all the technologies, and we have audio. We used to have VHS and CDs and cassette tapes. Now we have CDs, and now not only that, top of that, we have all the other social media and internet, all kinds of technology, which is a wonderful um, supplement, kind of wonderful tools we have to study Dharma. And it is amazing what you can do these days, right? All you need is the effort. And now you can use computers and technology. You can translate books. You can compose and whatever, poems, stories, articles, and all kinds of things you can do. Technology is amazing. It's wonderful. So study Dharma much more easy now than before, right? And you look at your computer, the teachings are there already. There's so many teachings on online. You can learn, and you don't need to travel so much. You don't have to go to the library and going through all the books and so much dust in the books, and going through trying to find a catalog and going through so much time consuming. You don't need to do that nowadays. So easy. So most important, to opponent power for antidote for ignorance, study Dharma is very important. You know, one of the greatest Tibetan Lama, Tibetan master, Sakya Pandita, he was incarnation of Manjushri Buddha. Sakya Pandita, he was the great, one of the 5 great teachers of the Sakyapa tradition. We say Marbo Karbo Namsum and Marbo Namni. 3 white lamas and 2 red lamas. That's actually, according to Sakya tradition, means the way they dress. First 3 white lamas, Gunga Nyingbo Sonam Semo, Kakwa Gyaltsen, 3 great lamas. They were laymen, they're upasaka, so they wear white skirts, they have a hair with the top knot and all that. And they're fully enlightened, emanation of Chakra Sambhara, Heruka. Kunga Jansen, Sonam Semo, 3 white lamas. Then two red lamas. They're the monks wearing red robes. Sakya Pandita and Pakpa, Chuja Pakpa. So Sakya Pandit means scholar, right? And he was emanation of Manjushri. And Sakya Pandita, Lama Tsongkhapa, and Lungchenpa, great Lama from the Nyingma tradition. These 3 are like brothers. They're not biological brothers. Of course, they're all Tibetans. And in that sense, we're brothers. But they're considered emanation of Manjushri. So then Pakwa was Sakya Pandita's nephew. He became the guru of Kublai Khan, the great emperor of China and Mongolia, and Tibet, all Asia. And Kublai Khan, he became disciple of Pakpa, Chujal Pakpa. Okay, and so I like to tell I like stories. I like to tell you a little story here. So because he was the King Khan, great emperor, and he became Buddhist, Tibetan Buddhist, and he will not accept any gurus unless the guru shows miracles and power. So he invited Pakpa to his court, and he said, "You show me miracles. If you show me miracle, then I will accept you as my guru." So Pakpa said, "Okay, I'm not really into showing miracles, but you are emperor." And then he levitated. Pakpa levitated and went up above emperor's crown. Then emperor bowed on the ground and said, "Okay, I accept you." And then Karmapakshi, the great Karmapa, I think it's the second Karmapa, also was invited. And then Kublai Khan asked, you show me miracles. If you show me miracles, I will then accept you as my guru. And then Karma Bakshi, the Bakshi is Mongolian word, Bakshi. Bakshi means teacher or Baksha. So Karma Bakshi made himself, his body turned into 5 pieces. His 2 arms, 2 legs, the main body, turned into 5 Dhyani Buddhas, become 5 Buddhas in front of the emperor. And Kublai Khan, then he said, oh, you're my Baksha. From now on, you are Karma Bakshi. And so Sakya Pandita said, even if you are going to die tomorrow, you must study Dharma today. The word in Tibetan, Rigpa Nangbar Chiyam, Lap. Rigpa means philosophy or Dharma. Must study Nangbar Chiyam is tomorrow. If you are dying tomorrow, you must study Dharma today. Okay? This is very precious word. So some people think, well, if you're dying tomorrow, what's the point of studying Dharma today? You don't have much time. That doesn't make any sense, right? Why not just eat something, do something enjoyable, and maybe write your last words, will or whatever, and whatever. What's the point of studying Dharma? Because people don't understand the future lives, don't believe reincarnation. And so because from Buddha's point of view, our consciousness continue life after life, right? So if you die tomorrow, what you have studied today will be continued in your mind stream and next life, and it's never lost. So whatever you studied today, it will be in your mind stream. Or whatever praise you do, meditation you do. So, for example, you meditate on loving kindness today, and then you die tonight, and then you die with love and kindness. That's what a wonderful way to go, right? Then you go through the bardo with love and kindness and compassion. If you pray to Guru, say Guru mantras and die tonight, and then through your death process and the bardo, you would probably receive teachings from your guru. You might see the guru. Or if you say the meditation or Powa practice or Vajrayogini or Chakrasambhara or Amitabha Buddha tonight, and then you go through your death process, you could have vision of Chakrasambhara, Vajrayogini, or Amitabha, or in the Bardo, or beyond Bardo. So it's continued, right? Or if you study, say, bodhicittas, exchanging attitude of oneself with others. And today, then you die tonight, then tomorrow you're in the Bardo or somewhere, and you have that mind in you have this consciousness exchanging attitude of oneself with others, loving, compassion, and sense of love, sense of gratitude, continue, never dies. Love never dies, and compassion never dies, and virtues never dies. This is why Sakya Pandita said, if you die tonight, tomorrow, you study Dharma today. So studying is the antidote. Then, of course, meditation and debate and logic, all these are antidote for ignorance. This is why in Tibetan tradition, in the monasteries, monks and nuns do lots of studying and debating, right? And that's the antidote for ignorance. Now, I'd like to talk about antidote or opponent power for craving attachment. As Buddha said in the Satipatthana Sutta, the origin of the suffering is the craving, right? Craving means attachment. Tibetan word is dochak. So dochak, there are many different kinds of dochak attachment, many different. Simple ones like an attachment for a cup of tea, attachment for a cough drop, or craving, whatever, right? And attachment for going for a walk or hug and this and that attachment, right? So now the question is, are all these attachments are bad? Not necessarily. And are they good? Not necessarily. And neither good or not bad, just the way it is. But whatever, doesn't matter, good or bad, whatever. As long as you have attachment, as long as you have a craving, and it's a craving, and craving mind, and creating karma, and creating karma. When you're creating karma to be in this world, to be in samsara, going round and round. This is why to cut the craving, cut the attachment, to cut desire, practice opponent power for keep distance and need boundaries. And this is why we have vows. This is why we take vows. Patimoksha vow, Bodhisattva vow, Tantric vow, all these vows. You sometimes wondering why there's so many vows. Why did the teachers make so many vows? Well, they actually the vows are gradually developed. For example, vows for the monks and nuns. Monks have many vows, bhikkhus have many vows, right? And 253 vows. These vows are developed through the history, slowly. I mean, not long history, but at the time of Buddha, gradually it developed. And for boundaries, to stop craving, stop karma, and keep the mind in a good position and pure and good. So now, what are the real opponent power for craving and attachment? And Tibetan word is dukkha and midukkha. Dukkha and midukkha. Dukkha is these two words are Dharma word, not ordinary colloquial Tibetan word. And what is dukkha? Dukkha is means something beautiful, and midukkha means not very beautiful. And so when you have a craving, then you are, as I said here in the sutra said, craving on agreeable object, craving on desire, a pleasurable object, and so forth. Craving, right? And then and then has to practice opponent powers. One of the very effective opponent power, something that is very good for everything, useful for everything, is practice mindfulness breathing. See, when you have a craving for food, craving for whatever you're craving, right? And you sit and focus your mind on the breath, breathe in, breathe out. Okay? That is very helpful. Kind of breathing meditation is like a rescue remedy and for the body, right? And like you have rescue remedy or put some creams or some arnica and arnica pills, arnica creams, and this and that rescue remedy, or I don't remember those English words. Anyway, so breathing meditation is very, very helpful. And now there are other methods. I won't go into details because time is running out. Craving, opponent power for craving is meditate on impermanence. Anicca, Tibetan word is mitakpa. The Sanskrit Pali word is anicca, impermanence. So when you're craving, whatever you're craving, think about, okay, this is impermanent. The object is impermanent. Object of my craving is impermanent. My mind is impermanent. Let's say if you are craving nice warm dark chocolate, or if you're craving for good cup of coffee or a good cup of tea, craving, too much craving, and then you say it's impermanent. This coffee is impermanent. This pleasure is impermanent. This aroma is impermanent. And the experience of eating dark, good chocolate or drinking good coffee is impermanent. Because, why? Because if you keep drinking more and more coffee, then soon you don't like it anymore. Too much coffee. Now I feel jittery, speedy, nervous, and even my stomach start hurting now. I may have to go to the washroom soon. And you might experience diarrhea, too much coffee. And see, now the pleasure is gone, impermanent. And you're no longer craving anymore because you know that impermanence, the pleasure of the coffee. Likewise, chocolate, anything like that, whatever you eat, whatever you experience by this body and five skandhas, form, feeling, perception, mental formation, consciousness, everything, right? If you're listening music, for example, you listen one kind of music, first, nice, I like Beethoven, right? And then you listen again and again and again, then you feel this music is too heavy. Beethoven's dong, bang, 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 too heavy. I hate this music anymore. Beethoven drives me crazy. I switch into Mozart, dun, a beautiful music. You know, I like Mozart. No more Beethoven. Madness of Beethoven. See, now you experience this impermanence of craving for Beethoven music. Nothing wrong with Beethoven music. And beautiful music, Beethoven, right? As you know. So I like classical music. I used to listen a lot classical music in my younger days, and not so much now. And I like listening Dharmas, chanting, and jhot practice, and other things, and listening sound of the birds, sound of the wind, this and that. And so your craving to Beethoven, goodbye, right? Because impermanent, right? So anything is like that when you are experiencing a craving mind, to know, meditate on impermanence of that particular craving mind. That is the antidote for listening music, eating food, whatever, right? And whatever you're craving, okay, or craving for companionship, right? And or you have a companion. Now you're sick and tired of being with somebody all the time. You're locked down because of COVID-19. You can't go anywhere. You have to be with this person all the time. You get so tired, you don't even want to look at this person's face. Don't want to even hear his voice or her voice. You say, I need to get out of here. I need some space. You see, that's suffering. So now no more craving this person. You need another person to come around. Third person sit next to you, have some chat, listen some. What something to tell me something. I don't want to spend time with you. I want to spend time with this person, that person. Oh, I want to be alone. Leave me alone. I'm sick and tired with the same person all the time, right? So this is impermanent. That attachment, craving to this particular person is gone. You need space. This is what we call suffering of changeabilities. Keep changing all the time. You have to change yourself, otherwise suffering. This is a dukkha, first noble truth. And the second noble truth is cause of suffering. The cause of suffering, goes around and around the circle. So the solution is meditate, cultivate, meditate on impermanence of suffering. So this is how it is. Now, this is the origin of noble truth of suffering. Now, I like to say a few words about so ignorance, attachment, or craving, same thing, and then anger, right? So we get angry, get mad, like you probably get mad at the COVID-19, and you feel like you're trapped, you're a prisoner. You feel like people are angry at the government, angry about whatever the cause of this pandemic. People get mad, or people are tired and being frustrated and become mad, right? So then, what shall we do? I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm mad. Well, being more mad, more angry makes more suffering, destroying my own peace, and serenity and happiness. I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to angry at COVID-19. I don't want to angry for cause of COVID, whatever. This is a global karma. This is universal karma. This is a group karma. This is a collective karma. And being angry at myself, angry at COVID, angry about whatever. This is just one example. It doesn't help. I have to meditate on impermanence of anger and cause of anger. And this COVID is go away. It will go away soon. So I hope it go away soon. This year at least, end of this year, end of 2021, COVID will be gone. Most places will be free of COVID. Well, you see, when you lock down, social distancing, this and that, many towns and cities are free of COVID if they follow the rules and guidelines. And if people don't follow, they are fighting all the time, arguing, and my freedom, your freedom, this and that. What is freedom? And we don't have freedom, and because of COVID, and then getting worse. So look for the solution, being positive, and again to think that COVID is impermanent and suffering is impermanent. Meditate on impermanence and cultivate loving kindness. And antidote for anger is compassion and loving kindness. We're all suffering. We're all in the same boat. Let's practice loving kindness for everybody. Love, meditate on love. This is the important. Okay, so antidote for the cause of suffering and antidote for the cause of noble truth of suffering. These are just examples. There are so many, hundreds of thousands of different kinds of antidotes or opponent powers. Dharma is precious. Dharma is very precious. Thank you very much. If you have questions, I will take few questions. I will accept and few questions.
Wendy Bauman asks, what is the mantra you chanted at the beginning, and should we learn this and join you?
This mantra it's not mantra. It is pay homage to Buddha, and according Pali language, Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa, which means I pay homage to Buddha, the perfect enlightened Buddha, complete and perfect enlightened Buddha. Then Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. I take refuge to Buddha, I take refuge to Dharma, I take refuge to Sangha. So this is a Pali language. Usually, this is how they chant in Thailand, Burma, Sri Lanka, Laos, Cambodia, and in Theravada Buddhist countries. So yes, if you like to learn, you're most welcome. You can learn, and you can learn from online. There are chantings, this kind of chantings, and but we don't have to do it together. And when we stop, we don't have to do it together, because this is actually, I'm saying this, opening the meditation, opening the discussion. I say for everybody. And thank you for your question. If you like to learn, you're most welcome. And actually, I say a little bit too fast. You see, if you like to learn, the most beautiful melodies is the way they chant. The melodies is the Sinhalese melody. Sri Lankan monks, how they chant. It's a beautiful melody. It's very smooth and long. It's very uplifting. You feel like you are going to become closer to nirvana. Thank you.
Kennedy asks, can aversion be considered a form of attachment?
Aversion?
Yeah.
Aversion become form of attachment?
Mm-hmm.
No, usually aversion is the opposite of attachment. Usually aversion is opposite of attachment. You say, I don't like this. I have aversion, I have aversion, say, eating rice or something, right? You have aversion. So you don't have attachment to the rice. And for example, right? So is aversion is not attachment. But you could have attachment for you could develop attachment for aversion for samsara, okay, or you could have attachment aversion for religion, or you could have attachment for aversion of war and or peace, whatever. You could have attachment or anything. Attachment is a very strange thing. You can have attachment to anything. For example, and I won't go into details now. That's enough.
Okay, thank you. Cornelia asks, does grasping ever stop?
When you reach nirvana. When you reach arahut, arahut means for destroyer, the state of arahut, and then did she say craving?
Grasping.
Yeah, grasping stops. Or I'm talking about on the ultimate level in the long run, in the future, right? Is it she or he?
Cornelia, I believe it's a woman.
Okay, lady asked this question, right? So the question is when does attachments craving stop?
When does grasping ever stop?
Yeah, of course. Grasping will stop, and like on a temporarily, grasping will stop because, as I said, if you meditate on impermanence of drinking coffee, if you have a grasping to coffee or something, just example, right? So if you meditate on impermanence of that and detachment for that, then the craving stops. And then again, stop craving for this, stop craving for that, gradually, and then you, some point in the future, long run, then when all the grasping will stop.
Thank you. Tom Troughton asks, in English, we talk about desire for enlightenment. Is there such a thing as craving for enlightenment? If there is, how should we identify it, and what should we do about it?
Yeah, well, you asked me first. Can you read slowly the question?
Okay. There's the desire for enlightenment.
Okay.
Okay. Is there such a thing as craving for enlightenment?
Yes.
Should we identify it? And what should we do about it?
Well, just recognize. That's it. You have a attachment for enlightenment. You have craving for attachment. You should, yes, we do. And that's not a bad thing. So then what shall we do about it? Just recognize. That's all. Just recognize.
Thank you.
Then see what happens.
Oya asks, is attachment always because of self-cherishing?
Self-cherishing?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time. Most of the time, yes. 70%. Most of the time.
What's the other 30?
Bodhicitta motivation.
Oh, that's good.
Pure motivation.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. See you next Sunday. And Happy New Year, 2020. I wish all the best for you and your family, and I wish all the best for our world. And 2021 will be a good one, I hope. And according lunar calendar, Tibetan calendar, is 2021 is year of ox. Year of ox is considered stability, strong, and healthy and good. So I hope that we all, everybody, and the world will recover from this pandemic, and there'll be more peace, more stability, and joy. And I pray for that, and I wish you all the best, and very, very happy New Year. Thank you. Bye.
Would you like to announce about the New Year's Eve meditation?
Yeah. So it's 9 o'clock here, right?
8 o'clock.
Okay. So I have a quick announcement. We're going to do New Year's Eve meditation at 8 p.m. BC time, West Coast time. So that will be 5 p.m. in Ontario time, 5 p.m. New York time, 5 p.m. on New Year's Eve. So we only meditate 1 hour from 8 to 9. And it will be then exact midnight in Ontario and New York and so on. So this is the sort of time that something fits for, I should say, more or less everybody. It's hard to do. Anyway, so if you would like to join, you're most welcome to join 8 p.m. and West Coast BC time. We meditate on loving kindness, and then you can make what we call resolution or whatever prayers. You could do that. New Year's Eve meditation at 8 p.m. Thank you.